What is everybody welcome back to the stream? First stream. Yeah, welcome back to the stream. It's gonna be the stream the Panthers and Rebels last night. Rebels match with their third grand final in a row. Let's go. And and tonight we have the Australia versus Papua New Guinea PNG. So yeah, I'll be right back. Wait,
I thought they were fantastic in that over 13, 24 to 14. And they've got most of their forward pack that was part of that winning team against the Fijians. Still here for this one tonight, as you said, Lockie Lamb not there. And it'll be interesting to see how their young outside backs go. There's a number of players in this PNG lineup that are playing for the first time for their country.
So Davey Cherry Evans and Tava Guara will lead them down the tunnel here. Guara making his 7th appearance for the Kumals, and as the proud honour of being the captain tonight, has been a long-time PNG hunter. So joining them back in 2014 as they moved, of course, into the Queensland Cup. A proud moment for him tonight. Likewise, Daddy Cherry Evans, who for 80 minutes at least, Brandy, can forget about all the drama at Manly and just focus on footy and trying to prove his case, of course, that he is the man and not Nathan Cleary to be the Australian halfback come their first game on October 15th.
Yeah, and he'll partner Matt Burton in the halves. And Burton is one of those players that his versatility might play in his favour because of his ability to play in the centres. He'll play 5'8" with Cherry Evans in this one, as we'll see Anthony Albanese sitting down there now with Mel Meninga ready for the team shot.
Alongside the Australian Prime Minister, the Papua New Guinean Prime Minister James Marape as well, who was on deck for the women's game beforehand, and Stanley Tepin, all smiles. He's an imposing figure still, isn't he? The great Mal Meninga. There's a couple of rugby league tragics there. Prime Minister Albanese and Prime Minister Marape, such keen rugby league men. And I'll get introductions as well, and an exchange of gifts also between the two nations, as we saw in the women's game. The Australian team will present a black wattle boomerang to the PNG team, and the PNG team will gift a Billum bag used for carrying goods and children to the Australian team as well. And it will be Tava Guara who will take them along the lines. It's an old school tradition, isn't it? It's almost like when the Queen would visit and take the Queen along the lines of introductions.
Yes.
Danny Quebec, the likes of Jimmy Notlick. The centres, Brandon Nima and Roderick Ty. Halves combination, Kyle Labour, the familiar figure. Turns 27 tomorrow, does the man from the Townsville Black Hawks. Dan Russell also. And you know what they bring to the table. There's no surprises when you play the Kumals. They come hard and fast. Plenty of ferocity. The likes of Nixon Put in particular. Zed John, we saw him there shaking hands with the blonde locks on top. And now Davey Cherry Evans will take his turn, taking the Prime Minister along as well. And a sense of occasion for what is a game in which there is a bit riding on what might happen in the next 80 minutes for both Mal Meninga and his respective colleague Stanley Tepin, the PNG coach.
Well, if nothing else, you know you've been in a game physically when you take on the PNG Kumals. Josh Adokar, of course, playing on one wing. Selwyn Cobber, Jojo Fafita. Zach Lomax gets a chance. The centres. You know, it's a great occasion for some of these players that you might get a chance to play representative football.
It's been a little while since these two teams went around, of course. The last time the Prime Minister's 13 were in action, it was 2019. That game was against Fiji in Fiji. Australia won that one 52 points to 10. Last time the Kumals played the Prime Minister's Australian 13 was 2018. The Australians beat the Comores on that occasion 34 points to 18. We'll stand by for the anthems of both nations.
Please stand for the national anthem of Papua New Guinea, followed by the national anthem of Australia.
We love our Super Saturdays here on Fox League. It's almost like a Super Sunday tonight. 4 big games we've had today with the Women's Rugby League semi-finals in the NRL and the Women's PM's 13 game, followed by the men. And Davey Cherry Evans with the captaincy tonight, 15 tests. His time playing for the Kangaroos. He's certainly part of the World Cup squad. It'll be a little warm up here after the ceremony of the greetings from the Prime Ministers and the anthems. Chance for the players to go on into touch. Get the sweat up once again before we kick off things here. Papua New Guineans, they're in Group D in the World Cup. They've got the Cook Islands, Wales and also Tonga, who they kick off against on October 18 in St Helens. That'll be a huge clash for them. If they can finish second in their group, a likely match up with Samoa potentially in the quarterfinals. That would mean, of course, they would have to beat the Cook Islands and also Wales, while the Australians, they'll kick things off at Headingley, the famous Headingley against Fiji. October 16, you'll see that number, of course, live right here on Fox League. We've also got Italy and Scotland as well. And obviously the red hot favourites to finish on top of their pool. And no doubt more favourites to take out the World Cup itself. But it's going to be fascinating given the strength of the Pacific Island nations in particular in 2022.
The Samoan side is the strongest side I think we've ever seen. The Samoan side with those players that have decided to go that way for the World Cup. Certainly looking forward to watching that man in action. Selwyn Cobbo finished the year, well, not like he wanted to, just a bit of footy towards the back end, and that was incredible through the Origin series and also for Brisbane in the first 3 quarters of the season. I think centre's probably a position where there's a couple of, there's some chances. You would say Val Holmes and Tron Mitchell would be the walk-up starts to play centre, to start in the centres, but there's some spots open. So Zach Lomax, Selwyn Cobbo might have been given a go here in the number 3 that Mal wants to have a look at him. He's got, if he can handle centre, he's certainly the versatility will help him get on the plane, that 24-man squad. Matt Burton is in the same boat, 5'8" and centre.
So we are right to go. It'll be the Papua New Guinea to get things underway. Kyle Laban will supply the kickoff, playing again in the halfback role tonight for Papua New Guinea. Puts it down to that far northeastern corner, where Burton makes the catch and he gives it on to Tino Fasuamala-Aui to bring it out here and play it 5 short of the 20. And it's the Australian Prime Minister's 13 against Papua New Guinean Prime Minister's 13. Also here is Tom Flegler. Strong back end of the season for the Brisbane Broncos. As he plays it to Hunt. On his right-hand side, that Butcher working on the near side of the field in this first half. Angus Crichton, who's Roosters' teammate, on the left bench. And Josh King will take it forward here and play it just on his own side of half-play. Hunt's kicking early out of dummy half. Finds the space as well in terms of Lupia around. Only player in the PNG lineup tonight who comes from the Digi Cell Cup, of course, the local domestic competition. And Papua New Guinea, great chance for him. And I dare say, we're watching all around the country in massive numbers. This is the national game for the Papua New Guineans. They love rugby league like nothing else, and they work it forward here through Nixon Put, who grabbed there around the legs by Fasuamala-Aui and also Flegler. They play it at the 30. Comes out the back for Labour. Kicks it into, was it the back of one of his teammates there, and maybe Kevin Arpo playing on. It wasn't an accidental offside, and so it must have been an Australian that it hits. And a great chance here for the Aussies from just outside the 20.
Yeah, 6 again called by the referee too, so the Australians in a great position here to open their scoring after the kick from Labour. Ricochet, not the ideal start for the Kummels.
There is up, goes the Cherry-Evans, turns Fasuamala-Aui underneath, and they're inside the 10 already. 2 minutes gone, first chance for the Australians. Cherry-Evans!
Yeah! Yeah!
Reaches out and plants it down, and PNG gift the Aussies a chance, which they gladly accept with both hands.
Well, it was a strong opening set from the Australians, and the Ben Hunt kick pinned the Kummels down in their corner. They struggled to get out, and they stuck to the sideline. They decided to kick on play 4. They weren't in a great position to do that. The kick ended up ricocheting off one of the Australian players. Selwyn Cobbo made the first play, and 4 tackles later, Nat Butcher crashes over. After Cherry Evans just holds the pass up momentarily to engage those Kummel defenders, and it's Nat Butcher who splits the defence, a low tackle. Butcher's able to slide his way towards the try line, then put that arm outstretched, get the ball in the in-goal area. Strong start from the PMs.
Due to Rimbu, the Papua New Guinean 5'8", legs tackle there, but from close range, he was able to keep that arm off the ground. Butcher, and score the Australians first here tonight. Finished the season with a rush of tries, did Nat Butcher. Was in great form for the Roosters before being bundled out, of course, in week 1 on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Zach Lomax, his kicking boots on 4 years ago, playing in the same game. With 5 from 6 on that occasion. He's back up a big win. He's a good striker of the ball. Keeps it inside the left hand upright. And early on here, 4 minutes gone at Suncorp Stadium. The Prime Minister's 13 of Australia. They lead 6 points. There we go. Downstairs to Jake Duke. Good evening, gentlemen. Warren, you mentioned Nat Butcher's try-scoring prowess. He had 11 tries in the NRL this year. That was his season best ever. The previous before that was 3 tries. So he's been try-scoring form. He gets the Aussies their first one here tonight. On what is a beautiful Sunday evening in Brisbane, the pitch held up really well considering we've had 3 other games here this evening. It's dry, it's fast, and there's barely any wind. Great conditions for these players to show off their form heading into a World Cup, which is getting very close. Well, they're enjoying playing a nice, firm, fast surface, dry one as well. This time of the year in late September, Suncorp Stadium. Here's Crichton, who will work it up towards the third. Australian PM's 13 on top. 6 points to 0. Hunt, a dummy half, he's kicked. Taken before the end of the set to give him that field position to begin with. It was a judicious one. They got the mistake from Labour, and he kicked into Australian, and now Burton following suit. Kicks to the open space as well, sends Addo Carr on a run. Gebby gets back there, and he'll be stopped 10 out from the line by Selwyn Clobber. So the tactic from Mal Meninga, his 13 is kick early and chase and make them work it away from inside their own 20. They give away a penalty here, though.
Yeah, just too much there from Josh Addo-Carr, so the Couples get themselves out of trouble, but they have kickers galore, don't they, in their lineup? Whether it's Cherry Evans, whether it's Ben Hunt out of dummy half, Matt Burt, I'm sure we'll see in action, throw some high curling ones up for the back 3 of the Couples.
And Kyle Labour, first receiver, gives it off to Mackenzie Yale. Robin as well, 115 kilograms. He'll play at 5 short of the halfway line. Runner from dummy half. Kevin Harper. We've got it back at the halfway line. Michael Hagan. Long-time assistant to Mal Meninga, of course, in the Queensland's halcyon days. The Broncos wins 8 straight Origin Series victories, and Michael Hagan was there for much of it with an Australian coach. Second penalty conceded here, and going to give the Couples a chance to put some real pressure on the Aussies as Namo took the carry. Some high contact there from Flegler, and as a result, they'll begin 20 metres out from the Aussie line.
Yeah, let's see what the PNG PM's 13 have in attack now. Great place to start their set.
Sylvester Namo, who will take it down towards the uprights, 15 metres out. Lara at dummy half. Then Mackenzie Yeo charges hard at King, taken around the legs with Hunts over the top. Lara looking to his right-hand side there. Labour is stationed. He finds Russell charging hard back against the ground. I'll tell you what, he was met. Solid contact there between King, Flegler, and also Russell. Here's Arpo. Hit and spin. Stopped there by Dane Laurie up in the front line, the Australian fullback. Right from dummy half, Labour didn't get great service there. The kick might be too big. Yes, it is. There's patience there shown by Dane Laurie, the Tigers fullback, getting a chance to step up, and a big occasion here tonight. Zach Lomax with a quick restart from the 20.
Yeah, well, the tactic would have been right if the execution was what was required, but the kick from Labour just a bit too heavy. He still had to tackle up in sleeve. Their first set inside the attacking zone. Unless there was a genuine try-scoring chance, not to play.
Tackled there by Rimbu on Fusua Mala'awi. Plenty of size in that contest, and the 5'8" made a good stop. He's there again, doubling up on his work as Cherry Evans plays it. Midway through this set, the meters here are massive for the Australians. Maybe a flat pass more than flat pass in Hunt. Wide ball, Tomo picked off there. A good tackle by Roderick Ty. Cuts him down 5 metres out. Here's Burton now, Grubbers. Hunt chasing through. This one is also too big. And might be something to look at here, because one of the chasers was that Ben Hunt was taken down trying to weave his way through the traffic.
Well, no try. There was no chance of Ben Hunt. I don't think he's
onside, playing on at this point.
Hunt stayed in the centre of the field. Well, he wasn't going towards
Ben Hunt
the
just
ball.
runs into the back of the PNG player, playing on.
So no drama. That'll be a 7-tackle set to
And the ball goes
PNG.
down. We have a decision.
There's Kevin Arpo just legally positioning himself in Ben Hunt. He was tracking back in the semi-direction of the ball. Hunt was trying to maybe milk it. You don't agree, Brian? You thought it might have been a penalty to the Australians?
Well, he was going nowhere near the ball.
Okay.
13.
More great name for PNG. Work it away here. There's Milford coming in for a carry. Just outside the 30. And a minute. Runs towards Burton, who strips it 1-on-1. And will send the Australians straight back on the attack from just outside the 40. Didn't see that one coming, never. He'll be aware now that that's very much on the cards against the NRL Stars they're up against here tonight. Hunt goes to Fasuamala Ali, Burden, now Laurie, Cobbo at full speed, taken down there by Roderick Ty, keeps it alive, and O'Carr. Paul thought the pass was forward, 6 again is the call. So a full set coming up here for the Australian Prime Minister's 13. Hunt. There goes Cherry Evans, Butcher looking to his outside. Lomax was on the sweep. Butcher taken down in an awkward tackle there, and it was deemed to be dangerous.
Yeah, not a great height, but he landed awkwardly there. That's why the ball came free. Just gets the arms in between the leg there and tips him up.
Judah Rimbu, the 5'8", down low, and then tipping up Butcher to get away another set of 6. Flegler plays it. Hunt bypasses Fasuamala Ali, goes from King to Crichton.
Yeah! Yeah!
There by Nutnik, but it
Yes!
his arm straight to Josh Adokar. And the Bulldogs flyer scores Australia's second here at Suncorp.
Well, they'll keep paying a big price, PNG, if they can't get through a set. And again, Matt Burton's one-on-one still gave the Australians a start with the footy inside PNG territory. Crichton, they want to pop the ball back, and then Newtley coming off his line gets a touch to the ball, but it ricochets into the hands of Josh Adokar. Nice play between Laurie and Angus Crichton, and Adokar gets the Aussie's second try of the game in pretty quick time.
Well, dangerous on that left-hand side, the combination of Cobbo and Adokar. Speed, mobility, and sideways between the two of them. And Laurie very quickly summed it up. Nutlik did his best to try and knock it down, if nothing else. And a celebration with a strong Indigenous flavour in this PM's 13 tonight. Dane Laurie at fullback, Cobbo and Adokar on that left-hand side in particular. And they're off and running here early on. Keeping pace with the clock at 10 points to nil. Just over 10 gone. And Lomax to continue on his fine form as a kicker in these encounters. Fine season with the Dragons with his kicking boots. A very healthy percentage. And they're trying to bend this one back. He's got it on a string already. Early on here tonight, Jake, it's 12-0 to the Australian PM's 13.
Yeah, Josh Adokar, it's a bit of an unfamiliar ending to the season for him. His first time in 6 years he hadn't played finals football. It was also the first time in 4 years this year that he didn't play State of Origin, so he'll have a point to prove. He wants to be in that Kangaroo squad on that wing for Malmaninga when the World Cup rolls around, and you'd think that he would be in the box seat considering the likes of Suoliti, Tupou and To'o have all pledged allegiance for other nations. So Josh Adokar gets a try there. The Aussies go up 12-0, a fast start from them.
And think about the players, yes, who are suddenly unavailable for Malmaninga to call on, Brandy. Josh Adokar, you think one of the certainties in this team tonight to go on to be part of that World Cup squad. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. Plenty of selfies, popular man. Footy fans recognise a like-minded diehard. South Sydney Rabbitohs fan for life. As they say in Redfern, South Sydney till he dies, no doubt. Tough night for them last night, especially in that second half after being Locked together with the Panthers at 12 all at half-time as Cherry Evans goes flat. Butcher ring to another legs tackle. He's been able to hit and stick and cuts down Butcher once again here. Laurie on the right side now. Lomax tipping when it comes to Joe Fafita. Out of nowhere to play for the Titans, and now for the Australian Prime Minister's 13. For Suleiman Ali flying high, brings it down, still driving.
Yes!
He dives in. Australia have a third.
Yes!
Big leap and catch by Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Not a role he's normally seen in, but effective all the same.
Well, and they score off the kick-off set. Nat Butcher down that right side, really threatening a lovely legs tackle from the 5'8", but the kick from Cherry Evans taken by Tino, and he's got half the PNG side around him. There must be 7 or 8 PNG players standing around trying to get the ball off Big Tino and shut things down. Not 6 to go, so this was the last play, and the fight in Fa'asuamaleaui. Outstanding stuff from him. And Angus Crichton just dives over adjacent to the uprights. Beautiful kick there from Cherry Evans. Great target. Big Tino, athletic enough to get up and take that ball, and then has the strength to offload.
There's no midget Dan Russell, the man that Tino Fa'asuamaleaui was up against, the Brisbane Tigers second rower, but he's a giant, isn't he? Tino, and bring it down and pop it out the back for Crichton, who will dive in from close range. Zach Lomax will convert. And it's a worrying signs for Stanley Tepend. Of course, massive underdogs coming into this game, given it's a team made up almost exclusively of Queensland Cup players. This is, of course, the one player from the Digicel Cup, PNG domestic competition. To appear on the wing, but all the same, I wouldn't be too happy that the Australians are outscoring the clock by some distance at the moment. We've had 14 minutes gone. It's 18-0 to the Aussie PM's 13.
Yeah, there's at least 7 or 8 players that haven't played for PNG. They've just played Queensland Cup. That's their experience in footy. They're up against a pretty hot side.
That they are as well. We might get plenty of restart practice, given what we've seen so far. As
Oh, no way!
He's away. Dane Laurie in support.
No way! Yes! Oh!
Cut him down. But the Aussies on fire inside the 30. Cherry Evans, he'll kick wide. Lomax is chasing. Only needs a
Yes!
and put it down.
Yes!
From end to end in 2 plays. 3 straight tries for Australia, and it's 22 points to 0.
Yeah, outstanding. Tino provided Crichton with the pass for the try, and then off the back of the kickoff, goes down the short side, big right foot step towards that left touch line, and picks up Josh Adokar. He links with Dave Laurie. Pummels were able to do the job, but they'd all converge towards the footy, and look at the space on the outside. Cherry Evans just needed the ball to stay in the in-goal area long enough, and it did. Zach Lomax just getting it down inside the dead ball line. 2 plays from the last try. They scored the last try off the kickoff set. Great play from Tino. Inexperienced stuff there from the PNG players. Get that left just all angled in towards Tino, leaving Adokar unmarked. Then Cherry Evans with the vision and able to execute well enough. Just popped up in the last moment there for Zach Lomax.
It was pretty athletic to be able to regather and plant it down. Look for a moment though, the ball was going to run along the ground and not sit up for Zach Lomax, but he was able to gather it. Now he'll try and convert his own try. Boy, after 9 minutes, it was only 6 points to 0. They scored in the 10th, 13th, and the 15th minutes. The Aussie 13, and well, I guess that right edge defence will be aware now that if they try and jam in and get numbers on Tino from the restart, we'll fire one out to the left-hand side and put the Fox, Josh Adokar, in motion.
Well, you can understand the PNG players. They just had 7 try and put him down off the cherry of its kick. So you can understand that the intention
Man.
that he brings, Big Tino Fa'asuamaleaui.
Quite possibly from the bench that after the try scored by Crichton, the word would have gone out. We've got to get numbers on Tino. We've got some numbers. Yes. Tino was a bit too quick for them. What about the kicking of Zach Lomax? From the sideline, he converts, and it's 24 points to nil. We've had just on 16 minutes gone. Jake.
Yeah, Zach Lomax absolutely on fire, guys, with the boot, scoring tries, and it's actually a bit of a birthday present for Zach Lomax. He turned 23 yesterday, one of 5 players in the Aussie side who's played for the PM's 13 before, and it came off a great kick from that man, Daly Chair Evans, and a great break from that man there, Josh Adokar. The Aussies absolutely on fire at the moment.
We're going to tries in the 3rd, 10th, 13th, and 15 minutes. One-way traffic here early on at Suncorp as King brings it back out. And he'll play it just outside the 20. Birthday for Zach Lomax yesterday. Kyle Labour turns 27 tomorrow. Not quite the birthday eve game he was hoping for here, the Bulls halfback. Flegler will play it. 20 short of the halfway line. Goes to Burton again, kicking early. Deflection there off Zed John, who was chasing out, putting pressure on Matt Burton, and as a result of Denny Getty, they'll play it here almost back at the halfway line.
That was play 2. So, a very strange looking kick for it there from Matt Burton. Tried to punch it low. You know, Matt Burton's strength, you may as well throw him up high. When you've got a boot like Matt Burton, just get it up in the air as high and long as you can.
And there's more hang time than any other kicker in the game. He rectifies things with his next couple of chances. Here's collisions going forward there. King shot. Francis Kemblis, who's on deck now. Rubber goes down to Dunlorry. He doesn't dance in. He dances all the way straight into Zeg John, who, like Nixon put, goes at 100 miles an hour, solidly built, close to the ground, and can really level the ball carrier should he get the chance. The feeder came in for a carry. Cobbo meets Zed John head on as well. Or John, he's hurt himself. He's concussed himself in making that tackle. He got up rubber legs. And the referee, was there a mistake from the Australians as well? I was watching Zed John trying to get back on side, and well, he'll need to come from the field for an HIA at least.
Yeah, I thought the ball, there's the collision with Selwyn Cobbo. The ball was pulled out of the hands of Selwyn Cobbo. I thought he regathered, but on second look, it probably touched the ground. That's a big collision. Selwyn Cobbo able to get to his feet and carry on. You're right, he looked a bit rubbery legged, didn't he?
Going through the standing 8 test on field, but given what we saw, there's no question that Zeb John will come from the field, and unfortunately for him, given the way he was stumbling, that might very well be game over. One of the real energetic back rowers, or we can always watch it again. Just head in the wrong position there, going to make a right shoulder tackle, and Selwyn Cobbo just straightened his line slightly and put him in an awkward position. So another change for Stanley Tappan, the PNG coach. Cruz 10 comes onto the field.
When all that was going on, guys, Puara, the hooker for PNG, he came off with a bit of an arm injury as well. We'll get the update.
So the skip around of action for PNG as they go on the attack here. Looks like Rimbu will take over at dummy half for the moment. Nixon put the player just inside the Australian 10. Where's the Tenzo? There at dummy half. Throwing a dummy, nothing doing as Fleckler was able to wrap him up. Rimbu comes across to Monday, and he'll try and beat the traffic there, with nothing doing through Fa'asuamaleaui, and also Angus Crichton. They've used up 4 plays. Labour gets up there with Dan Russell, the kick to the corner. Adokar taking no chances, and he takes it out of play.
That does look their best shot at scoring a try off a kick, whether it's on the ground or in the air. I think they should keep testing the Australians like that. He gets the kick right this time. Later, able to split the defenders and get the weight right. Forces Adokar to make a play at the ball, not the dent, so they'll get it back to the PNGs.
And the Australians going short. It's all the range in 2022, and they get it back as well. Rimbu unable to clean it up. Lomax comes up with possession.
Rimbu's down.
They've got problems all over the place now, PNG, with Rimbu down. He's got a leg injury there in that collision. So scrambled for the ball, both teams. The feeder will play it here as it goes from Hunt to Surma Ali, runs towards Tenter, giving away so much height in that contest with Big Tino. He'll play it back at the halfway line. Cherry Evans. Way to Butcher. Shuffle at the line before he's wrapped up there by Kembus. They're down the short side. Cherry Evans has them going backwards. Lomax runs towards the tackle there of Danny Gembe. And he comes up with a big shot. Nice work, Gembe coming across and shutting it down.
Well, they keep going down the right, and for good reason too. Lomax, Fafita, Cherry Evans have combined well down this side, but Gembe, big shot on Zach Lomax, and they needed it.
So they've survived there. Dominus again for the Australians. Max King is out there. So is Josh King. Long live the King, as the case may be, of course, in recent times. One will play. Tenza to his right hand side, coming in. Mbupia for a carry. Pretty good shot as well by one of those Kings. It was Josh. They made the contact. Put it back to almost the halfway line. They're 5 short here. It's Tenza from dummy half. Finds Labour. Kicking with the left boot away from Max King. Tumbling kick played off the boot there by Laurie. Then he slips over. And walking into some cork. Always a bit of give in the ground potentially. And good work by Roderick Tye. Getting up very quickly, shutting down Adokar as Combo does some dancing, brings it back midfield and is hit by Cruz 10. Another good shot. And the Coles fans in the stands here really enjoying some of the contact. No surprises there. Well, it's the feet of the play. Hunt from again early in the tackle count from inside the 40. It's a terrific kick. He produces a 40-20. And they've done it all night from the opening set when Hunt kicked early from dummy half, and this one from first receiver was an absolute cracker.
Yeah, what a bonus it is to have a dummy half that can kick as well as Ben Hunt. Did it all season for the Dragons. 40-20s. I think he'd led the competition for 40-20s. The Australians on the attack.
And Xiii was the best in the NRL in 2022 as he gets out of dummy half here. Goes to Josh King, who'll play it meter out from the Coolers line. Max King now. Hit and spin there, but held up in a solid shot. And 4 of them involved in the tackle as Hunt comes across to Burton, showing it, slides through and spins to get it down.
Yes!
They have a 5th try.
Yes!
Inside the 20, they've been able to capitalise, and this time it's Matt Burton. Bulldogs sensation 5'8", just too big and strong from close range.
Yeah, look, they threw a couple of big bodies at the line. Some crash plays, but off the back of Ben Hunt's kick, they get the field position. It was an absolute ripper from Hunt. Bounced hard. Australia, 3 tackles in, throws the dummy to Angus Crichton, and well, he's big and strong enough, Matt Burton, to carry Dan Russell into the in-goal area. He gets a good piece of him, but Burton gets the ball down as he backs his way into the in-goal area.
They've had their issues, the calls, trying to slow things down inside the 20. The Australians' size in particular really coming to the fore there, and then Burton, just a little dummy. Kyle Lavitt looking out. Russell was left 1-on-1, able to wrap him up. And it's a points fest In this first half, still more than a quarter of an hour remaining. Now Meninga prowling the sideline. Looks like probably a chance to throw a bunch of troops on there, of course. Jake Simpkin, West Tigers, dummy half, getting a chance now on a big stage. Big call out for Jake.
Certainly is. Jake. Go further with Garner sitting on the sidelines, and there is no interchange numbers. Players can go on and off.
We'll figure out the 25 minutes might be a chance to clear the bench and a mass number of changes. Lomax getting plenty of practice with kicking. He's converted everything, and it's 30 points to nil.
Matt Burton, he will be hoping to be on that plane to the UK. What a season he has had, and suggestions this week as well that the Bulldogs have tabled him an extension possibly for 4 years. So his future at the club also up in the air, but they'll be hoping to lock him in, showing what he can do there. Just an update for PNG guys. Seth John has failed his HIA Category 1, so he will not return to this game. PNG down a man.
And no surprise there, thanks for that update, Jake. Given the way he was stumbled out of the contact, that's a real shame because he brings so much energy to the Bulls, defensively in particular, and they've bitten off too much here. It's gone out on the full boy. That's more good luck than good management between Crichton and Addo-Carr, because neither of them knew which one was going to take it. They both intended to. In the end, they left it for the other, and it went out on the full.
There was a moment of panic there from both of them. Angus Crichton was very quickly trying to find where the sideline was as the ball was coming to him. Josh Addo-Carr wasn't sure what to do. And in the end, the ball goes over the touchline in Australia, back around this 20-metre mark again. Through the PNG error.
And it's ominous if you're a Bulls fan, because we know what's happened every time Australia has gone inside the 20. Josh Curran is on deck. It's a chance for Mal Meninga, who was sorting out there, giving out instructions to his bench from King to Crichton. It's stopped there by Russell and also Labert. And they'll play it here 5 out. On the PNG line, Burton the dummy half. Very deep is Ben Hunt at first receiver. Shows it extravagantly. Now Cherry Evans. Lomax, he was going to leave it. He was going to reel it in the end. He just knocked it on. Well, they're better off leaving it for Joe to feed him. For perhaps the first time in the game, the Bulls have stood up inside their own 20. Well, they survived the set.
Yeah, they forced the error. Poor execution there. The Australians heading towards the sideline. Even if Lomax takes that ball, he had nowhere to go. So a brief for the PNG team.
See how they fare working it away from their own end. No play is it, and a penalty. The Australians a bit too keen to get off their line. They're winning these collisions and they're set back on their 10 and good to go. This time though, a little bit too quick. And leaving the mark, and so Labert will find some easy meters here and send PNG on the attack once again. They'll begin at the halfway line. See what they can muster here. Taken forward through Nixon Put, who's lifted to the air by Cherry Evans and Butcher also. Comes it eventually. Ember Cabinius. They're playing here just outside the 30. Pointing. Barking instructions defensively on that left-hand side. Labert goes towards. He gives it off to Gebby. Runs to Burton. He's outside shoulder. Burton able to make the tackle. Quick play the ball. Tenta jumps out from dummy half. Goes back to Gebby. Razzle-dazzle. Labert takes it down within 10. Midway through this set, looking for their first points of the night. Tenta from dummy half. Flat ball for Russell. He had Burton under pressure. And some help there from Hunt. Back on the inside. Gebby puts a little grubber in. Addo-Carr. He was ready for it, makes it dead, and it would be a goal line dropout. So a bit more pressure coming up the Australians' way.
Yeah, again, they'll get the ball back a couple of times now that they've put in kicks that have seen Australia have to run dead or knock dead. Addo-Carr doing it, not even trying, just runs it dead. Well, here we go again, another set for PNG. Again, they didn't get to play 5, the short dropout.
See if Papua New Guineans can defuse this one. Attack back, and they will end up with it. Cherry Evans trying to drive Brandon Nima across the sideline. In fact, it wasn't Nima, it was Drew's 10 floating out there very wide. And take it back inside the 10. Here they are. The 10s are from dummy half. Hands it off back on the inside. Something to stop these Carpinius from close range. Butcher able to accommodate him though. Rimbu at first receive. Laban goes to Getty. He's kick happy at the moment. This one will be too big. Laurie under no pressure there. And Denny Gebby, who was once a South Sydney Rabbitoh going back some 3 seasons, never saw any time. That time with them in the lower grades, because as soon as he signed, pretty much COVID-19 hit the world, and he was back playing in Papua New Guinea. They're trying a trial deal with the Tigers as well, at Denny Gebby, but didn't stick on at Concord HQ. And of course, was a Townsville Blackhawk in 2022. Takes it to the line.
Oh!
King is away. He links up. A chance here for Ghana. Another Tiger. And he headed north in 2022. In fact, headed west in 2023 when he goes to the Panthers. Here's Cobbo.
Yes!
That was a little bit too easy. They cut them to ribbons again on that left-hand side of the field. And it's a 6th try in this first half for Mal Meninga's, Australia's Prime Minister's 13.
Yeah, Mal's got some new players on the field. Great offload there from Josh Curran. Luke Garner ends up with the ball. They come back to the centre. That's Sam Walker on the field now. The Roosters halfback. Catch and pass. Selma Cobbo just too strong. Steps out of a couple of tackles. Drags another one into the end goal. And the Aussies score their 6th try of the night. Footwork from Cobbo, good enough to beat that first attempt. Powers over the top of another. And then drags Jimmy Lookley into the in-goal area. Going to be a big scoreline.
Yeah, you mentioned at the back end of the season he had that the concussion, of course, to begin with in Origin 3. And that certainly didn't help his cause. He had a number of weeks, then came back, wasn't quite the same player, and then said to Kevin Walters, I need some time out, suffering a little bit of burnout in his first full season in the NRL. And he's just recently spent some time back at Cherbourg, just chilling out, trying to energy back, and he's looked energetic enough here tonight. And Max to try and convert from just outside the 20. Ball kick it back. Oh, raises the right hand upright. His first miss on the night. It stays Jake at 34 points to nil.
Yeah, Selwyn Cobbo, you mentioned it was what a great breakout year it was for him, but also a taxing one. And he spoke this week about just how much that first full season took a toll on him. He wanted to get back to Cherbourg, take some time away, and you can see he's back here, refreshed at his best, destructive best, and he said he'll be raring to go if Mal Meninga picks him for the World Cup. And we were talking about that winger shortage that the Aussies have a little bit earlier. Maybe he will be on the plane. He said it won't be a problem.
Oh, he'll be on the plane. No doubt about it. Yeah, he showed in the first 15, 20 games this year what a player he is.
And also at Origin level. Just to remind you, Brandy, and they played out, of course, the Maroons and the Blues in 2022. Jason is out there now at dummy half. And Mal Meninga really has rung the changes through the back end of this first half. Aussies just ahead of the clock. 34 points to the good. And 32 minutes gone here at Suncorp. Another very early kick. That's a pattern that looks like continuing throughout the game, given what we've seen. So getting around, who will bring it back here. They'll play it just outside Papua New Guinea's 10-metre line. Take it forward. There is Mbukia. Little game there as he's wrapped up by Curran. In fact, Curran has forced a mistake. He's lost it into Pia. And get back to his feet to play it quickly, and that's more trouble, quite obviously, for PNG, given what we've seen so far. Only player in the team. Only player in the Queensland Cup. 10 Papua New Guinea Hunters in the team here tonight. And as we said, at the top of the broadcast, 8 players backing up from the win over Fiji. Campbelltown in the season. Terrific game. Yeah, Buckingham scoring a couple of tries in that. David needs swan song from the Criminals. Here to
Yes!
Who scores, and to my knowledge, it's his first touch since coming onto the field. He grabs one immediately. Try number 7 now for the Prime Minister's 13. It's 38 donuts.
Yeah, well, he just showed how dangerous he can be when he gets the ball in his hands. Jake Averillo on for Malvaninga. Just out the back there, and bang, Big Fen gets on the outside of the defence there, and he's very quick. Great runner of the football is Jake Averillo.
Too much speed there for Lima, who couldn't go with him, no surprise. One of the real flyers in the NRL is Jake Averillo. Found his place eventually for the Bulldogs this season. Started out as the first choice halfback. That was an experiment that was short-lived, and yeah, he was much more comfortable away from the play-making duties. And
He's a ball
runner.
runner.
Feel like this, he's a runner, isn't
Yeah, he's a ball runner, and I thought he handled the fullback spot pretty well. He's still got enough skill and halfback skill to take it out wide, so he's got the ability to pass and to set up his outside men, but he's as dangerous a ball runner as there is. Very quick, good footwork, and strong.
It was Crichton, Ben Hunt, Tom Flegler getting a breather at the moment. It's mass changes. Dane Laurie, fullback, being replaced by Averillo, and now Lomax. From the sideline again. Can't quite straighten this one out. He's missed a couple now after having some tough ones from the sideline, either side of the field. But just watch the speed again. Walker knew where it had to go. Lomax was going through the line. Didn't give Rubu too many favours there, trying to get across, track down to help out Brendan Nimmer at the left centre, and Averillo's speed just too much to handle. It stays at 38 points nil. What a night it is here in the River City. Brisbane looking an absolute treat. Late September, 1 game to go in the NRL and the NRLW as well.
The Eels shock winners today over the Roosters.
That was a big upset. The star-studded Roosters lineup in the NRLW ranks.
Defending premiers knocked out.
We'll see it all, of course, live next week, NRLW. And the Super Bowl, if you like, between the Queensland Cup winners and the New South Wales Cup winners. And today, Brandy, and the Panthers, just what a season they've had in all grades, Jersey Fleet winners, and also in the New South Wales Rugby League competition as well.
Yeah, great day for the Panthers at Combank Stadium this afternoon. The Fleet getting up over the Newcastle side, and the New South Wales Cup team beating the Bulldogs 29-22.
Here are the Australians once again. Yeah, taking it to just almost a 30-metre line here. The Criminals end of the field. Simpkin at dummy half. He comes across to Walker, who puts it high in the air. The weight is pretty good. Getty makes the catch. He's a tackle buster, and he shows that right there, getting through 3 tackles, including Averillo, who is coming across in cover as well. He's always had good footwork, and that's why he was, and speed, and that's why he was signed by the Rabbitohs and looked at by the Tigers as maybe being a chance to help them out in the NRL.
Look at the spacing behind the ruck there for the PNG team. That was a great kick from Sam Walker, right on the try line with Gebby. Terrific kick return.
Roderick retired playing here at the halfway line. Gebby here again. He's everywhere on his left-hand side now as it comes back to Brandon Nimmo. He'll play it just outside the 30 as Tenza waits at dummy half. He'll come back to Rimbu. We'll put it up. Put some pressure here on Jojo Fafita. Lomax coming back. Almost got in his way. Boy, flying through. There was a cripple who made a clean miss, and as a result, Fafita, just in second gear, sorted all the way back to the halfway line. Good catch and return, and here they go. Walker gives it with Cobbo, a juggle. Touch there by Labour. They've got the mistake. It looked dangerous again for that right edge defensively for Papua New Guinea, but they survived there. And they begin in Australian territory.
Yeah, good return there from Newton too. Going to pick up the bouncing ball. Sam Walker trying to position Selwyn Cobbo there on the outside of his defender, and in the end put too much pressure on Cobbo to take the ball.
Tenza from dummy half finds Labour. Who's going to get back underneath here for Phineas, who will just inside the 20. On right-hand side, and a full set as well. Set restart from Tom Smith, the referee, and they'll begin at the 10. Kenzie Yahi is back on deck. He'll play it there for 10 to go through Arpo, and then that right-hand side. And it's hard forward. Francis Kembers will get across the line. Oh boy, he came down on the line. Referee called held. It's going to be 6 again. Another set restart. And the referee not called held. Kembers has a try for the Coolers. Yay will play it here from Tenza. Goes to later. First man a chance there. Charging hard was Tanabe, who's only just stopped there. Solid tackle by Bo Fermor. Cut out ball. Spinning. He can't get there, Namo. Terrific tackle made by Jake Simkin. What a stop that was. Rimbu going back here on the last. Rubbers a chance for Rimbu here. He can't reel it in.
The Australians being called offside for Zach Lomax, who sprinted up quickly and then retreated to try and fill the hole. The kick was there was too much weight on the kick. Here's Lomax. Gets up really quick.
I'll put some pressure there on Judah Rimbu, and as a result, called offside correctly so. And a number of sets in a row here for Papua New Guinea. Maybe one more play, perhaps two here. Labour goes wide, cut out ball. Gebby on the wing, he'll plant it down. The 27-year-old, he scores the Cool's first try. And it was beautifully worked on that right-hand side as well. The long ball from Labour was a beauty.
Yeah, it was a nice pass there from Kyle Labour. Just held the ball up, waited to see what Josh Adokar was going to do. Adokar gave him the opportunity to throw the long ball, went for the intercept. And Gebby, even though we haven't seen much from the PNG in terms of attack, Gebby looks like he's their best player. They need to give him the ball more often. Finds himself out the wing and good enough to get it down despite Selwyn Cobbo coming across. Well, they grabbed their first try, which is good off the back of the penalty given. Zach Lomax leaving the try line too early. Great ball from Labour.
And a good finish as well from Danny Gebby. As we mentioned, signed with the Rabbitohs, they saw the potential. The now 27-year-old going back to the beginning of 2020, and that was a popular try for that group of fans here at Suncorp Stadium. A bit of a tough night, of course. The general rooms with the Australian Prime Minister's 13, the women's game, big scoreline there against the PNG side. And likewise here, unsurprisingly, right on half-time with the last play, this man, Kyle Labour, who played a couple of games with the Cowboys back in 2017 and 2018. He hooks the conversion attempt, but they're on the ball at the break in the PN's 13 matchup for the first time in 4 years. Australia 38, Papua New Guinea 4.
Yes, an exhibition match which Australia is putting on a show in so far. Michael Anderson, Corey Parker, players not featuring in the finals, are here tonight pushing for their place in the World Cup team with Mal Meninga and a few eye-catching efforts in this fourth try of the night.
Yeah, it's been a classy first half from the Australian side, in particular the halfback Daly Cherry Evans had some wonderful moments. Tuna Far, Silma Lau, he'd been enormous as well early in the game, but a kick here from Daly Cherry Evans, who's had a hand in 3 tries, was pinpoint. He had some beautiful moments, but none better than that when he set up Zach Lomax for what was their second try of the night.
Yeah, 38 points to 4 at the break. There are so many highlights to get to. That's exactly where we'll be straight after the break. It's been a massive afternoon and evening from Suncorp, and it continues right here on Fox League.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I don't. I was FK.
If you want to run stronger tomorrow, you need sports nutrition.
I must have forgot to pick up my camera.
Sports nutrition is banned substance tested and informed sports certified. INC Sports Nutrition, powering tomorrow today.
It's here! It's here!
The iPhone 14 Pro has landed. Get up to $1,000 bill credit when you trade up from an eligible phone.
I'll be right back.
Morning, mate.
Check out old mate.
Mate,
Working with your mates? That's what makes it Maccas. Mates make it Maccas. Apply now. Search Maccas Jobs.
At Hype Republic, we create global entertainment using the all-new HP Envy X360, now at Harvey Norman. Featuring 360-degree design, we sketch, explore, and share wherever our imagination takes us. All-day battery life and fast charge unleashes our full creativity in the studio or on location. Expand your creativity with power and performance with the all-new HP Envy X360, designed to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Now available at Harvey Norman.
Aussies need to keep going their own way. They can't afford not to. They're saving lives on our beaches, inspiring the next generation, and nurturing and protecting the ones we love the most. That's why at Isuzu Ute, we offer a 6-year warranty, up to 7 years roadside assist, and up to 7 years cap price servicing.
The iPhone 14 Pro has landed. Get up to $1,000 bill credit when you trade up from an eligible phone.
If you want to run stronger tomorrow, you need sports nutrition you can trust today. INC Sports Nutrition is banned substance tested and informed sports certified. INC Sports Nutrition, powering tomorrow today.
To amplify results, performance must be measured. Masashi has been working with professional athletes for more than 30 years. We focus on optimizing athletic performance through advanced sports nutrition. We research, develop and test our products to deliver the fuel you need for your sport. Masashi, performance amplified.
Claudia discovered that cheap hair products don't always look like the picture on the box. And Julio bought cheap car insurance with cheap accident repair. When it comes to the important stuff, don't risk bargain regret. Go here instead. Next time join the A-team, hey Julio. Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does.
Welcome back to Fox League, where Australia's PM's 13 side are on fire. The Cools have been no match so far. As we take a look at the halftime highlights with Michael Ennis and Corey Parker, 38 points to 4. Coach Mal Meninga is sideline up and about, and you like what he has seen so far for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fast start from the PM13. As you'd expect, this man on screen, he's had a terrific half of football, sets up a try there for Crichton. And what they were going as a point a minute for the PM13, they were in a great form. 8 line breaks for the team. This guy here again, Tino Fa'asul Mala'awi, finds Addo Carr, he streaks away, and off the back of that, some beautiful work, Nick, from that man that we spoke about only moments ago in DCU.
Yeah, he's been classy, Daly Cherry. He hasn't played for a little while, mainly been out of the competition, but since he stepped up early on in this game, he's landed some beautiful passes. We saw the first one from Butcher to set up the first try of the night. This was a lovely kick across field. So Zach Lomax was ripping a real handful out on that right-hand side of the field. Matt Burton, need to see more of this. Running the ball, he's looked dangerous when he's done that. I've been really impressed. In fact, with Josh King through the middle, his work rate's been outstanding. And then as the back end of the half rolled on, Lara, Mal Meninga really started to inject some youth off the bench, and this is when we started to see Sam Walker get some nice touches. Jake Gavarilla, what first touch in an Australian jersey, and great to see this right on the stroke of half time. It was a nice piece of work out of dummy half. They found Labour, held up the pass beautifully for Gebby, who's a terrific player, and they're on the board for the first time, which is good for the Cools, because it had been a hot start from Australia.
Well, we know that the World Cup is fast approaching, and that Mal Meninga doesn't have a couple of first choice front rows to choose from anymore. But the man stepping up in that role tonight, Tino Fa'asul Mala'awi, tell me about how he's impressed you, and I guess he probably knows what's at stake for him.
Absolutely. I mean, we know, and we've seen Tino play this year in regards to what he brings every game, and it's exactly this. It's the ability to just be able to compete. He goes up for a front way there, comes down with the ball, finds a little offload for Crichton. He's a terrific young player. He's got a bit of pass in him. He's got tremendous ability just to bite down on the mouthguard and get forward where he needs to be. I've got no doubt he'll be in or on that plane for sure going to the World Cup for Mal Meninga, as we've just seen from what he's seen in that first half.
Yeah, he's been awesome. I think the story as well out of tonight is that the form of Nathan Cleary and some of the halves at the back end of the season. Mitch Moses has been terrific, but Daly Cherry, I'll talk about incumbency and where Mal Meninga sits with that, given that the Kangaroos haven't played for 2 years.
Well, that's the thing, right? So the incumbency is nearly null and void in regards to that, because they haven't played, as you said, in 2 years. Yes, he's been terrific in this game, as you would expect. But part of the Queensland, the origin is obviously the only sort of real gauge from getting from those players. But, you'd expect a player like Daly Cherry Evans in the first half to pull out 3 tries like he has. Yeah. I don't expect to see him in the second half, but I think he's probably done enough. He'll be there on the plane. It's just a matter of where he plays when he goes over.
Yeah, Daly Cherry is blowing out some cobwebs. As you said, Mick hasn't played for a while, right? The Cools, it has been tough going. I guess what can they do here just to restore a bit of pride there in the second half?
Well, I think the one thing that we saw, Lara, is they'll just keep competing. Yeah. They keep fighting, don't they? And that's what you love about the PNG side, the passion in which they play with. Yes, look, they've been outclassed. They're playing against some of the game's great players tonight. And as Corey said, a number of them have been taken back to the interchange bench. So some youth in the Australian side now, but right on the stroke of half-time to get that try, they go in with some confidence that there is a way through this Australian side. And I think the message from Shane Flanagan and the coaching staff would just keep competing.
Yeah. All right, we'll stay with the second half action. Is still to come from Suncorp Stadium in this Prime Minister's 13 clash, and at full time, I'm putting these two under the microscope. They're going to name their Australians World Cup starting side and 17 for game 1.
Nothing brings people together like a big screen with amazing picture quality. Go bigger with the new Hisense TV range.
Control. The Isuzu D-Max is
Hype Republic, we create global entertainment using the all-new HP Envy X.
Bad boys, what you want? What you want? What you gonna do? When Chevy John don't come for you. Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Performance with the all-new HP Envy X360, designed to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Now available at Harvey Norman.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Morning, mate.
Check out Old Mate. Mate.
Working with your mates? That's what makes it Macca's. Mates make it Macca's. Apply now. Search Macca's Jobs.
Good betting used to be hard work. Wrangling mates was a bit like, and divvying up the dosh, oh please. But thanks to Bet with Mates from Sportsbet, group betting is simple. Just start a group, set an equal buy-in, share the link, and you're away. And if you pull out, the balance is shared equally. It's that easy. Sportsbet's Bet with Mates. Start a group today.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
To amplify results, performance must be measured. Masashi has been working with professional athletes for more than 30 years. We focus on optimizing athletic performance through advanced sports nutrition. We research, develop and test our products to deliver the fuel you need for your sport. Masashi, performance amplified.
Some Sunday night rugby league coming your way right here. The Home Footy Fox League. It's the Cool's Papua New Guinea Prime Minister's 13 at least, taking on the Australian Prime Minister's 13. And both PMs, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and James Marape, also in attendance watching on tonight. The side bet between the two of them is Albo, who's on top at the moment. The Australians led it 8 points before. On some terrific tries as well, a rush of them. 3 tries back to back to back in the 10th, 13th and 15th minutes. It looked ominous at that stage for Papua New Guineans. They had a bit of starch and scored their own try on the stroke of half-time with the fullback Benny Gebby getting across the line for their only 4-pointer of that first 40 minutes. He looks to be the real star of the back line, if not the entire team. Warren Smith, along with Greg Alexander and Jake Tew, taking you through all the action here of this second half. And we'll see if they can pick up from where they left off. But they had a weight of possession, Brandy, and really troubled the Australians.
No, they didn't, and they didn't get through many sets. If you have a look at the line breaks are 8-1. The kicking game of the PNG team has struggled a bit. They've put a couple of their 7 tackle sets to the Aussies, which they've paid a heavy price. They haven't made that many errors. There's only been able to get through 14 sets out of 16. But they've paid a big price when they have made mistakes.
Now we're back underway. Papua New Guinea will bring it away from the northern end here at Suncorp Stadium, and they'll play it there through to Western Namo as Tenza is there at dummy half. We heard from Jake Duke in the first half, and PNG captain Tavo Puara out of the game at the moment with an arm injury. They also lost Zeb John, a real dynamo back rower with a concussion, and he came out and tried to put a shot on, and not very much the worse for wear, and he failed his HIA. Well, plenty of players available on the bench for both clubs tonight, carrying 20 players as Kyle Labour kicks from inside the 40. Can't find the turf though. Jake Avarillo is back there in the fullback role now for Mal Meninga after Dane Laurie was the starting number 1. And they'll play it just outside their own 30. Selwyn Cobbo, a strong try in that first half. Met by some strong defence here as well. Getting up very quickly there. Kevin Arpo. Lock forward, making some contact, and there is Mackenzie, following suit. This is what we've come to expect. The Papua New Guineans, when they go at an international level. Not the full-blown international here tonight, but a bit of pride on the line here, given the points they leaked in the first half. They've done better defensively here so far in this set. Last play for Australia, as Burton puts it in the air. Didn't quite strike it as he would like. Cobbo there, tapping it backwards, straight to Laban, who's called held. And then put a foot on the line, quite obviously, courtesy of the Australians, and it'll be a penalty as a result.
Well, even though the Aussies made 50 metres from that set, that was, I thought, the best defensive set from the Pummels we've seen tonight. Plenty of stick in it. Oh, but they failed to find touch. And Jake Avarillo handles that beautifully.
Kicked out on the full from kickoffs and restarts, and now they don't find touch as well. Kyle Laban with an early kick into the back of teammate. The Australians scored off the back of that, the first try of the game. So it hasn't been a great kicking night for Papua New Guineans to this point. Here is a chance for Ghana, stepping back against the grain, who will play it at the 20. Simpkin from dummy half. Line up on his left-hand side. Curran going back on the inside, and a big shot. Namo, he saw King coming, lined him up and grilled him and forced the mistake. What a shot.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, wasn't it? And look, he's a very good ball player, Josh Curran, but got that one wrong. Had the opportunity to dummy and go himself. Josh King, certainly more one. Back on the inside. There he is, waiting for him. Sylvester Namo.
This time, off the back of a penalty, they will find the sideline and go on the attack here. So a chance to score first points in this second half after giving up 7 tries in the first half. And they're playing here just outside the 30. There's a Tenza at dummy half. Here is Xiii, offloads there. Arpo set upon straight away by Jake Simpkin, and also Curran. They're still just outside the 30. Here is Namo, who will take it forward. Not much happening there, though. Although drives the legs.
Bad boys, what you want, what you gonna do? When Chevy don't come for you.
Away there effectively as well from Sam Walker. Put him on the seat off his pants. They stop just outside the 10. Here's Wesa Tenza back on the inside for Capinius. Stopped there by Simpkin around the legs. The last play. They bypass Laban. He goes to Arpo, puts in a better kick and flying through. Nutlik. Jimmy Nutlik scores. The calls have gone back to back. And Suncorp explodes.
Well, we thought the kicking game might have been their best option to come up with a try. It was a Laban pass that grabbed their first try at the back end of the first half, and then the kick is perfectly weighted. Something they've struggled with. And Nutlik gets a perfect bounce. Right in between all the Australian defenders as they turn to try and get back to the ball. The ball split 3 of them. Perfectly positioned.
I mentioned a moment ago that Colin Laban's had a tough night in some ways with his general play kicking and set restarts as well. They bypassed him there. I don't know that Kevin Arpo was intending to receive the ball and then put in a grubber as good as that. You can see Laban in the background saying that was supposed to go to me. Arpo said, hey Kyle, just take this one out. I've got it covered, and put in a beautiful kick.
He did. Colin Laban put his hands down pretty quickly after he saw the result there.
Didn't they celebrate it?
PNG to double figures.
He converts. It's 38 points to 10. Tries on either side of half-time. Papua New Guinea, having heard the words of Stanley Tepping, their coach, at half-time. We saw them in the sheds. They were very composed. And then flying through, Jimmy Nutlik He's a part of the West Tigers camp, Jake Duke. Comes up with a big try there. Played some games this season for the Western Suburbs Magpies in the knock-on effect New South Wales Cup. He showed some speed right there.
Absolutely he did. And Stanley Teppan, that was the message he wanted. Better concentration with the ball. If they got more possession, they've proven they can score tries in this game. They got one before the break and then one after the break. And Mal Meninga, he won't be happy with that. He wanted his side to keep it simple, but it was all about getting as many minutes in guys' legs now at the moment, especially the guys who haven't played finals, but that will be on that trip to the UK. But he won't want to see any more tries conceded, that's for sure.
Came in looking for a chance. He looked and he was able to fly through and finish it off. Tremendous fashion. Here's Xiii. His carries along with Sylvester Namo, both some big meters in that lead up to the try, and now here they are inside their own 40. There's Rimbu with the kick. Can't find the turf once again. It's been an issue for their kicking tonight. They've kicked out the back three of Australia on the floor. Jojo Fafita brings it back, tries to burst through the tackle in the middle of the field where Tenza was able to wrap him up, and now Laurie is back on deck for the green and golds. Just on his own side of halfway as Burton feeds it off. Jake Simpkin down on a running one. Was it no Fermor? In fact, it was Fermor as Simpkin gets them a dummy half this time. Finds King, Max, that is, standing. Simpkin puts it going. Avarillo goes away to Garner. Pops it back on the inside. Avarillo looking for a second. Knocked down there. Cleaning it up was Mackenzie. Yay, where was Mackenzie? Back there playing in the fullback role. Saves a try for Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, well, they needed an extra defender there, and somehow Mackenzie Yay, the front rower, found himself back with the fullback, and needed to be too, because if it was a catch and pass their situation, Australia running another try. The offload really hurt the PNG defence there.
The Australians from 10 metres out. And resume normal transmission here. Having given up a try either side of half-time. They hold it up in the scrum. Simpkin goes Walker. Burton. Good hands by Laurie. Taken in a touch. Gebby playing on the right wing is where he scored the back end of the first half. He switched roles with Jimmy Nutnik. Nutnik's gone the fullback. And Gebby showing he can do it on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they marked up well there. The Quibbles and Dave Laurie, after the pass went behind him, really had to pull up on his run. Had no chance of going anywhere after Gebby wasn't dragged in, wasn't sucked in by Matt Burton.
They had their issues early on that right edge, especially defensively. Gebby will starch on the wing. Will be a bit dusty off the back of that contact with Dane Laurie. He'll be okay to continue on as Nima works forward here. You'll play it just inside the PNG 20. Now Cruz 10. Tenza down to Labour. A chance to kick early. Here's a chance on his right-hand side where Roderick Ty does well. It's on the tackle there of both. Well, still going. I think he was held. Didn't hear the call. Eventually he'll play it, but he was ripping and tearing. Good to see. Oh, shot here over the top. King coming up with a contact there on Francis Kembus. Kembus, to his credit, bounced back to his feet. Now Dan Russell avoids Fermor. Burton is there. So is Hinker, but they died on the last, and that will be the changeover.
Well, they didn't realise it was the last tackle. It was a good set from PNG down this right side. Nice little flick pass that saw them make some good meters off the back of it.
Looks like a Denny Gebby going to be called from the field. There he is on the advice of the independent doctor. Watching on, they've said he needed to come from the field, so he was a bit dusty off the back of that tackle he made on Dane Laurie. That'll force yet another reshuffle for the Kummels. And they're back three. Simpkin. For Curran. Oh, another first shot. Xiii has produced a couple of beauties in this second half. Simpkin runs towards McKenzie. Look out. He's a man on a mission here. All 115 kilograms of him. Providing if he's there again. He's feeling it at the moment, isn't he? The red mist has descended. It might be blowing though, chasing hard from the middle. Garner stopped here. They'll plan for Lomax. Goes to Walker. Now Burton will kick towards the corner. Chance out wide. When Laurie is there, so is Tino Fasumala. Are we fresh on the field? And made it no further than the left wing. So what he did under the high ball in the first half. So they're saying he could play a fair wing. Over a couple of plays at least.
Well, he's mobile enough, isn't he? Josh King offload during that step. Corbell's under some pressure, but they're doing a good job at the moment defensively, PNG.
Xiii certainly putting his name up in lights. Places up for grabs for the Bulls. Their World Cup squad, and this is going to be a penalty for Papua New Guinea. And high contact. All coming across here, and well, they've had by far the better of the second half. You see the contact there, no question. Going above the shoulders there, and here's a chance for Labour. Put Australia under big pressure. See if they can grab another one to make it 3 tries on the trot. And begin through Russell. Labour. He keeps it going. Going hard is Sherman to Nabi. We'll play here just outside the 20. Tenza at dummy half. Comes back to Kempis. Minimal gain there. Legs tackled by Curran. Now they're set for a big shift to the left-hand side. Labour coming up quickly. Walker trying to hurt him back towards the middle, and successfully so as Garner makes the tackle. They've used up 3 plays. Tenza, he comes back here for Wane, who runs towards Burton. Nothing doing with players screaming for it on the right-hand side. Having a chance here, a kick from Tenza came off an Australian. And it was played out by Burton. Papua New Guinea ball, not offside was the call by Todd Smith. Anyway, not in possession anyway, watch it again.
Well, Curran plays at the football.
It was either accidental offside or somebody just outright offside.
But, well, depending on where Burton was he in front of him? If he was in front of him, it's not accidental offside, it's just offside. Anyway, PNG will have the ball from the scrum.
Labour with the feet. They're set deep on this left-hand side. Rindu comes to Mutlik. Ball goes to ground. Ndupia throws himself on it. The feeder makes the tackle on him. Touched by the Australian, so a new set coming up here. Up inside the 10 at any rate as Nixon push. There's another trademark barnstorming run or a big hit yet, but there's still plenty of time. All knocked backwards is the call by Rimbu. His heart in his mouth for a moment. Tenza waits at dummy half. Here's Lane back on the inside. Kembis picked off there by Curran. And also for Suleiman Ali. A chance again for Cruz 10. Simple stuff for the moment. They're building it through the forwards from inside the 10. 4 plays gone. Tenza shows it. Comes to Rimbu, who kicks. Here's a chance. Nimmer on the chase. He got there. Brandon Nimmer reeled it in before the dead ball line. It's all Papua New Guinea here in Brisbane.
Well, after an accidental or whatever it was offside, and the Criminals getting the ball back from the scrum, they go to Rimbu, who's able to dribble one through, and again the kicking game is the best way for them to score a try, but a great chase there. Read it well, Brandon Nima. Kept himself onside behind the kicker. Ball splits it, and he does a job to get it down as Jojo Fafita arrives. And the last 3 tries have gone to PNG.
He's been around the course and up for a number of years, has Brandon Nimmer, a chance back in 2018 to show what he could do. Not a full-blown test against the England Knights on that occasion, and now here he is, planning it down. No dramas for the put-down, Brandy.
No, it was all good, Warren. No problem with that. So the Commons now get the 14. Kick to come from Labour.
He can't convert, that's certainly not their cause tonight, but 3 tries in a row. Well, they've shown what they can do. Throw in the likes of Justin Olam and Alex Johnston, David Coates and Lachlan Lamb you mentioned. We spoke about Maurice Martin, the former Bulldog lock forward, now playing with Leeds, beaten in the grand final by St Helens early this morning our time. And now Meninga, as a result, thinking about that, what the company getting into doing to his Prime Minister's 13 side, a little bit out of his gates at the moment on the sideline there, prowling up and down the bench, along with Michael Hayden from the Axe, Trevor Gilmeister there as well, kind of now Meninga's setup. And it's Papua New Guinea working away from inside their 20. 3 straight tries, and building up, of course, to their first game in the World Cup on October 18 UK time, when they take on Tonga. Well, there'll be some collisions in that contest. Here they are, playing it through canvas. Now, up towards the 40. Question in the second half here. They've got themselves into the arm wrestle, going set to set for the Australians.
I do need it, actually. I do. Channel 9.
That was 24 points to nil. Now a chance down this left-hand side. A kick put in by Nutley. Comes to Avarillo. He links up with Dane Laurie. They've got some live wires at the back with both Avarillo and Loring on the field at the same time, the Australians.
Well, that's what they do. And look, very little football, though. They haven't been able to get through 3 sets. The Prime Minister's 13 from Australia. 10 from 10, the Commons. Perfect. And there's a mistake. And Ben Hunt back on the field, just loses control of the ball. And it's all PNG.
I'm not sure how much game time Ben Hunt was scheduled to play tonight. I'd imagine he was going to get 2 stints, but he's certainly out there now. And now Meninga looking for a bit of start from his team, leaking points here in this second half. And Ben Hunt puts it down as simply as you'd like.
Starting front rowers back on, Flegler and Tino. So
they've got their tails up though, Papua New Guinea. Back at Mackenzie, what he was doing, some of those shots certainly inspired his team, gave them a bit of confidence. They've executed nicely inside the 20, and they might be there again in a moment with Labour to play it here.
There's Jerry Evans, Angus Crichton, and Nat Butcher, both the Roosters back rowers back on the field.
And very much the starting forward pack for Australia on deck here, midway through this second half. Here's one take forward and stop there at the 30-metre line for the Australians. Ringo, a little head fake. Nixon put, step out of the tackle there of Sam Walker. He stopped 25 out. 4 plays gone, haven't made a lot of metres so far in their set. So a step there from 1A as he plays it quickly enough. Tenza for Ringo, rubbers again at the line. A ricochet off the knee. It falls for Undupita. He might have put it down. There's a bit to check here. The Papua New Guinea might have scored their 4th straight.
No try. Just confirm that Zach Lomax was grabbed and made it again.
I thought the PNG chase might have been half a yard offside. No, they're good.
PNG looks like he chased it onside.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Brandon Nimmer has grabbed Zach Lomax.
Just need to make sure there's no knock on.
I guess he was running at such speed he couldn't help himself.
I think Nixon Put knocks the ball on. Does the ball bounce back up off the leg there? Comes off the left hand of Nixon Put. Garner sticks his foot out. Bang, off the left hand. Knock on.
The ball's played out and then hits the arm of the PNG player, which is a knock on. We have a decision.
I wouldn't see no PNG try.
They're lapping this up, and with very good reason. Australia under huge pressure here. Not as far as the result is concerned, but just for a steer the flow.
There's only been 2 tries in the second half, both for PNG.
They were celebrating Leon Dupia. Can you imagine? What's meaning for the fans back home in Papua New Guinea Rugby League, the national game, of course.
PNG have to get a half-back up to the scrum. Up he comes.
Well, working away Australia from inside their 20. Hunt across this left-hand side here. What's happening on that occasion? Okay, for Jojo defeated, jamming it off the wing. There is the Xiii back in a familiar role. In the middle of the field, Hunt goes to Cherry Evans. Again, they kick early. They've done it all night. They've had few chances to do so in their second half, with the Bulls just owning the football, and now chance there for Whitlock to try and have his feet. Eventually, we'll be able to play it there as Dan Russell, picked off by Dane Laurie. Lots of ways to starting forward pack on field for Australia. Still some changes in the back line. The likes of Sam Walker defending out there alongside Nat Butcher, his Roosters teammates. Ryan will play it here. It's outside the 20. Walker doing a nice job with one with Flegler to make that stop. The nose through the line. Could play the ball as well. Supplied by Namo. Lay it 20 short of the halfway line. Finds the turf. One of the few times in the game. The bounce sits up here for Avarillo. Brings it back. He runs out there towards Leon Undupia. And he'll play a 10 short of the halfway line. Here's the feater. Namo there looking for a big shot. Working that left shoulder into the contact with the Australian winger, Sulaiman Ali. Can't afford quick play the balls when you've got Tino pouring onto it. In that sort of fashion, Hunt will kick again. They're barely getting their third tackle every time here. Saw a chance to turn them around. Lick back there in the fullback role. Able to bring it back into the field of play. They've got him wedged into a corner here, and a couple of tough carries coming up. Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, the tactics from the Australian side with the Cherry Evans kick, then with the Ben Hunt kick the next set, forcing the Pummels to bring it off their own line. They're waiting for an error to give themselves field position. It's a tough set for PNG.
Sort of stuff that Nixon put last would carry right there. Now Namo following suit. In fact, there's Garpinius on that left-hand side of the field. Comes back to Rimbu to kick from inside to 30. Not bad one, plenty of depth on it. Not backwards there by Avarillo. Bulls fans, they went up as one, thinking there might have been a knock-on call coming their way. Here's Laurie. The speed they possess, Avarillo and Laurie. Laurie was just about through into the backfield in a broken field situation. Cobbo just to the middle. Left up there by Garpinius. And now it's put down by Angus Price. And listen to the noise here. Not the biggest crowd you've seen by any stretch at Suncorp tonight, but boy, it's where there was 30,000 at times when things go the Papua New Guineans' way.
Well, they're loving the underdog, aren't they? Everyone wants to see another PNG try.
Shift for Labour. Gives it off there for Nabi, who takes it inside the 40. Playing for Tenza. They're pushing up in support here, working it through the middle, mostly into the back end of each set. Playing there through Namo. Tenza. To find Rimbu, who kicks, trying to find the turf, and Roy coming across is able to get there They take it on the full. And Lupin will wrap him up. And let them point in the corner of the field here. You'll see if Fafita pays a price as a result. He does well. Step past the tackle there of Rimbu and get a legs tackle. Now Lomax, I don't know that Papinius was onside. He should be floating between marker and the 10. Play on's the call though from Tom Smith, the referee. Here's Flagler. Backing his way towards Ravitz. Put it back within 10 of the halfway line. Hunt from dummy half. Cherry Evans numbers here. Crichton does well. Fermor back on the inside for Crichton. Standing. Fermor's there again. He sets sail. Avarillo, a juggle wrapped up there by Notlick. He saved a try, only a metre out. Hunt from dummy half. He'll kick out wide. There's nobody.
Yeah!
And Burton makes the catch and falls in to score his second try.
Great vision again from Ben Hunt, and it was Ben Hunt who started it way upfield with some smart dummy half work. He went to the open, came back to short side, picked up Cherry Evans, but what Hunt did was drag a defender in, and that created the overlap. Good hands between the players. Just see it there. Hunt, great stuff out of dummy half. Fermor and Angus Crichton passing to each other. Fermor gets close. Avarillo pulled down just short of the try line. Ben Hunt jumps into dummy half, realises that there is no one out there for the Cummels. Matt Burton's the man that catches the ball and scores the try. Just to steer the ship right.
It's been some time since they crossed the line. Their last try before that was back in the 34th minute. They've gone half an hour of game time, just over, between tries, having scored 4 tries in the opening 15 minutes. The Cummels have dominated this second half. Put on 14 points either side of the break, in fact. And, well, Ben Hunt's a little mistake not that long ago gave the Cummels a chance, but Australia survived that. It was back to type there, sensing there was nobody at home, given they were shot to bits on this right-hand side of their defensive line, initially by the likes of Crichton and Fermor. That was a nice interchange of passing, wasn't it?
Beautiful down
two
that
back rows.
Yeah, beautiful down that left-hand side. After the work from Hunt and Cherry Evans on the inside, just created enough space for those two. Crichton strong enough to stand in the tackle and offload to his back row partner.
Well, Maxwell's perfect early on. His last couple here, bends this one back. It'll fade away across the uprights as well and stay at 42 points to 14 as we go downstairs to Jake.
Speaking to Ben Hunt before the game, he said how much he was looking forward to playing alongside Matt Burton for the very first time. They combined there for a try to stem the flow of tries from PNG. Ben Hunt also said before the game that he wants the starting number 9 job for the Kangaroos. He wants to be the first choice hooker, which is a hotly contested position. Incumbent Damien Cook, Appy Coruscant, who's in the grand final for the Panthers, and Harry Grant as well, but he has done himself plenty of favours tonight. Ben Hunt kicking well, playing well. Will he be the number 9 for the Kangaroos when the World Cup rolls around?
He just might be. Appy Coruscant's been in great form for the Panthers, but I would think I think Mel might want to go with the Queensland duo who did the job so well through Origin. Harry Grant, Ben Hunt.
And that might dictate what happens as far as halfbacks, like forwards, through the spine of the Australian team. Who is the hooker could well dictate a number of other positions for Melbourne, England.
Yes, it could. Yeah, that's right. Cameron Munster will be the 5'8".
And that is for Sir Ghana here. They're back on the front foot, the Australians suddenly off the back of that try by Burton. Walker goes to Butcher. He scored the first try of the game all the way back in the 3rd minutes. And they're playing for Walker. Goes back to Burton. Here, Grubbers, Cherry Evans chasing, getting back to clean up though. Cruz 10 is there, and it will be a goal line dropout for Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, just through their kicking game. They've put so much pressure back on the Cummels, and it was a long kick from Cherry Evans, a nice kick from Ben Hunt that got a repeat set. Matt Burton dribbles that one into the in goal, and very quickly they turn the screws back on the Cummels, who were enjoying certainly the better part of the opening 20 minutes in the second half.
The drop out from Rimbu has Flegler on the charge. He takes it all the way back inside the 20 in the end. Dan Russell, who got to him, but a big return by Flegler. Gunn on the next carry. In front of the uprights, just outside the 10. As Hunt has to hurdle up over there, get to the ball at dummy half. Walker, Butcher, and right foot step again had Nimmer under pressure. He's only a couple of metres away. Walker fires it back to Hunt. There's Cherry Evans, and Whitfield for Crichton. One-on-one taken down there by 10, got away from his tackle there. Comes back with rubbers. He saw Adarillo pushing through. So some good kicking tonight from back rowers on either side of the field.
Well, we're just talking about the kicking game. I wasn't thinking that Angus Crichton would be included in it, but ducks back towards centre field after breaking a tackle and sees Amarillo pushing forward in the middle of the field. Why not?
Maybe you saw what Kevin Arpo did for the Bulls earlier in this second half. I figured he might do that as well. Weight was perfect. And get the goal line dropout. For Suimala Aula to bring it back. There's a good tackle there. Boy, Cruz 10. He's a goer. Giving away massive size there. Now Crichton in trouble on this short side defensively. Hard when you get him. They've recovered there. Just letting it go through the hands. They'll probably create the extra man. Instead, Cherry Evans gives it to Flegler. Stop him in the middle of the field. So Tenza is there. So they go through Cherry Evans, showing it, stepping off the right foot. Some lovely dancing there. I'll take him down though, just inside the 10. It was the Nami who got to him eventually. Now Hunt out of dummy half. Walker.
Yes!
They had to score eventually. Harvey Gaines looked a bit out of petrol defensively. And that's it. At the back of a couple of goal line dropouts. It's Sam Walker who grabs his first try as part of the Prime Minister's third team.
Yeah, great footwork from Cherry Evans to get them close to the try line. Then Ben Hunt out of dummy half picks up Sam Walker, pushing into the space there. And speaking of footwork, Hunt and Walker, beautiful on their feet there to create that one for Sammy Walker.
No doubt, plenty family and friends in the crowd tonight for Sam Walker. Wales from Brisbane. Roosters star so much rugby league in front of him. Hunt, well, he had a surplus of options on this left-hand side, and from close range, he was able to beat that ragged defence, which was really struggling for gas in this right edge in particular. 46 points to 14. Papua New Guineans have done well because, well, they were going beyond the half-hour mark at more than a point a minute. 80 plus looked very much on the cards.
They did. They ran into 6 tries pretty quickly. Lomax makes sure of that one. Lomax was 5 from 5 too, so not only were they scoring tries, but Lomax was adding the 2, and just seeing Sam Walker there just step back on the inside to beat the outside defender before he caught the ball, and then left and right for Sam Walker to score that try. Joe Firma's playing in the centres down the left centre position, and you know, that's another position up for grabs. We spoke about Matt Burton. Selwyn Cobbo started the game in the centres, but you've got Latrell Mitchell and Val Holmes. And Jack White.
Jack White was the next name.
That's right.
I was about to suggest to an amazing game for New South Wales in Origin 1 before he was a victim of COVID ahead of Origin 2. So there are options, plenty of them. I wonder if tonight has helped Melbourne to solve any of the puzzles he had, the makeup of his squad. They're saying he's got the squad pretty much inked in, but what we've seen here tonight might confirm an opinion, or maybe go the other way.
Oh, what?
Left centre, linking up with Lowry.
Yes!
Looks of things. The points are flowing now again for the Australians. That was Fermor playing in the centres. just freewheeling down the sideline and drew and passed as they would put Laurie in for another one.
Yeah, second play off the back of the Sam Walker try on their own 30. Crichton skips out of a tackle. Both Firma playing at left centre. Great job there, evasive skills from Firma to confuse that PNG defence. Dane Laurie playing on the left wing. Crichton just easily steps out of tackle. Looks the footwork used from Firma, the dummy, in and away. PNG defender falls over, trying to work out what Mo Firma was going to do with the ball and with his footwork, and Dane Laurie gets across to get the Australian PM's 13 over that 50-point mark.
Roderick Ty watching on his right-hand side. He's edging away, thinking the ball might have been going to Laurie, then he's just got his back turned and turning him inside out was Beau Fermor. He was able to just draw and pass, and Laurie would bring it around as well towards the uprights. Taking them a while to get out of neutral, which they were stuck in for much of this second half, certainly the first 20 minutes of it. Going again here at the back end, and now Lomax from beside the uprights. They get 54 points to 14. Don't forget, Brandy, of course, you'll be aware of this. Might be the Panthers versus the Eels in the big game next Sunday night. Make sure you're a part of the action. You can go to nrl.com/tickets to be there. It's not too late to be there for the Western Derby. First time they'll meet in the grand final. What an occasion it will be. Western Sydney will be alive this week in the build-up to the big one.
Won't it? It's been a long time coming. Panthers Eels grand final. What a week we're in for.
And it shouldn't be a beauty. You want to see the grand final live, in replay rather, right here on Fox League. And here today, of course, you see the NRLW grand final, the Super Bowl between the Host Plus Queensland Cup winners, the knock-on effect New South Wales Cup winners as well. Always much interest in that clash. Now, Lomax sends Burton away. A skip and a jump as they go down that right edge. And they've got them going again here. They've only been in neutral for a while, the Australians, but they're back in quite top gear, but almost at the moment. Here's Cobbo. Comes the Laurie, playing his left wing. Too much speed.
Yes!
All he can do is weave. And he's able to go around a couple of roundabouts, invisible though they may have been there. He plants it down, and boy, the points are being piled on here at the depth.
Yeah, down that left side through Matt Burton. They then shifted the ball right across the field. Cherry Evans out the back, throws a long one. Selwyn Cobbo realised he had an unmarked Dane Laurie. Threw it beautifully to Dane Laurie. Great pass from Selwyn Cobbo, and then back on the inside was Beau Fermor after Dane Laurie used his speed to get around the cover defence of the PNG team. Firma almost got himself tangled up that time.
Well, he weaved. There was nobody there to weave, but he weaved in towards Jimmy Nutlip, who suddenly had a shot that he wasn't going to get. Had Fermor just run a straight line to the line. Instead, there's other still beat Nutlip and plant it down. He's enjoying himself with a bit of room to move on this left-hand side tonight. So was this man, Selwyn Cobbo. Laurie playing a nice hand, filling in on the left wing.
That's 11 tries to the Australian PM13 team.
Well, they've put on quite a show, both teams, in the second half. The Australians, after being behind in the second half, and much of it, scored 4 straight tries now through Burton, Walker, Laurie and Fermor. Lomax converts the most recent of them. With just under 4 minutes remaining. It's 60 points to 14. Australian PM's 13 over the Papua New Guinea Prime Minister's 13. Boy, the Olympic City of 2032 looks a treat, doesn't it? Won't it be great for 10 years' time? So the development, Brisbane, precinct around the river, South Bank there, river stage as well into the main part of the city on the northern side of the river, and just up the road, get up Roma Street, down Caxton Street, you find this place. Suncorp Stadium. It will be one of the venues for the Olympics in 2032. It'll be a hot spot around Caxton Street. ARLC owns a restaurant and hotel now on Caxton Street as well, so might be a wise investment given what's coming up in Brisbane over the years. Here's Curran. He'll play it just outside the 20. Want a bit of seafood right now, Brandy? On Sunday night, Aussie's back at the halfway line. It's Simpkin, he'll play it. Little hands of King, who's back out there. Josh, that is. Josh and Max in the line-up tonight. Walker from dummy half. Burton from Oak was looking at a two-point field goal instead. He's produced a hanger, flying high. Nutley couldn't come down with it. Off Lomax, play on. Curran brothers bounces away from Rimbu and then coming in. The Cool's have survived a scare at the back end here through Brandon Nimmer, who came up with possession.
Have they got one more in them, Australia?
A personal best ball there from Matt Burton. Still had plenty of it though. He's provided some crackers, hasn't he? In 2022, getting up to play on here. Chance for Line to take it forward. In fact, it was Lupia coming in. A couple of minutes remaining. Where's the 10? Fires it back or charged down by Curran. Here he is a chance. He needs a bounce. Back down to contest with Jimmy Nutlik. And Nutlik it is who wins the race to the ball. He'll have the Papua New Guineans under pressure once again. Here's Curran. Thinks there might be an injury. No, it's just a crack.
Yeah, let's not stop the game for Cream.
Good charge down by Josh Curran. He saw that kick coming. They're on the back foot there, Rimbu, and he's a sizable presence coming through at speed like that. And the 5'8" looked up, and all he saw was the indigenous artwork of the headgear of Josh Curran. And the charge down was as clean as a whistle. And inside their own 20, as they build up for their opening World Cup game, they'll be refreshed and replenished with a number of stars from the NRL for their campaign of the World Cup. They'll take on Tonga. They're in St Helens, part of rugby league land in the north of England. As Laurie brings it back. We Australia with the last chance. 3 or 4 tackles here down this left-hand side. They killed them in this second half. Here's Cobbo again. Cherry Evans on the inside.
Yes!
Cobbo won't need him though. A big free-striding centre tonight. He runs away for his second try of the game. That's a fitting way for this one to finish after Australia started in fine fashion. And they put on 5 tries now. And is run over the last 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Amarillo just used his speed out of dummy half there after Dane Laurie's kick return. Just had the calls on the back foot. Quickly, Amarillo down this left touchline, linking with that man, Sylvan Cobbo. Scores his second of the night and scores the 12th try for PM's 13. The Aussies just too good.
Papua New Guineans, some words of encouragement there from NRL.
Oh, the fox thing. Oh, my.
Josh Adokar says to Zach Lomax, hey, I've got this one. He's form here. There's all the movies. Showing that he is. He almost back again to kick this. It's an awful hook, but he loves it all the same, as he always was going to. And it brings up full time. They win by 50. Stage has been set for the Rugby League World Cup.
Oh, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next week's one in the grand final, boys. between the Panthers and the Eels. So yeah, peace out.
In this Prime Minister's 13